Yo, okay, so I've had a couple of days off sick, so naturally, what do you do when you're sick? You work on a VR sculpting app. So this is version 0.8.153. Now if we go into, well, actually right from here from the start, this should be about as close to the regular sculptxr as it could possibly get. So that'll move, I can zoom and scale with the mouse, that's all fine. But if I enter VR mode, so I've got my headset on at the moment, so I'm waiting for it to drop in, and then I see and hear the sculpt in terms of VR mode. But what I'm quite proud of is that now I can be sculpting in VR, and that gets mirrored on screen. What's also interesting is that I am turning the model around, and I'm looking at it from different angles, and I'm kind of zooming and scaling. But the desktop is doing its own rendering loop, so it just does what it does. I can even, if I sort of peek under my nose, I can actually make this view from a different angle, and I can even sculpt here. So this happens to have a pretty cool workflow where I can, so use the crease brush here, because the crease brush is easy to use with a mouse or a tablet. And in my headset, I'm seeing that update live over here. So I can go back into the move brush, and I can pull this out. I can do sort of all those kind of VR-y style moves, and that's all great. I can make it nice and big and do things. I've also got a few different sort of rendering modes depending on what you want to do. So if you want to see exactly what I'm seeing, you can go up to the camera menu and change this spectator mode to VR mode. And now you see what I see. So I'm hoping it's all lined up because I can't actually see because I'm inside the headset. Or you can go to what I just showed you before, which is desktop mode. So this is sort of two independent cameras, but they render at the same time. Or you've got this one called Tracked, which is very similar to, it's kind of it's a hybrid between them. So this inherits the rotation and some of the translation, but not really. It always tries to auto center and trackball. So basically, as I turn, this sort of maintains the offset to what I'm doing. But you can kind of like see as I turn, the desktop turns. Or the other one, which is particularly cool, is this last one, which is called stationary 6-off. So what this is for is I'm now taking the headset off my head and I'm putting it on the edge of my desk, and now I can sort of look on screen, and I can control what's going on. What's going on. I can also use the mouse to do like sort of minor adjustments to the view, but ultimately I can come back in and I can use both my controllers. Or I can use the mouse, so I can get into it like close or far away. I can actually, let me just pull this in a bit closer because it's a bit too far away, like that for me. So now, my controls are too big, silly me. So go zoom further away. It takes a bit of getting used to, but I can sort of like get this to where I need it so that I can sort of sculpt. So I'm now doing sort of like dream style desktop sculpting. So I can even use the move brush, and I can sort of push and pull. The one thing I'm sort of struggling with at the moment, which is kind of irritating, is that this stupid Quest, it's doing what it's really meant to do, where it's being very aggressive about turning itself off if it thinks that it's not being used properly. So I have to keep, that's me tapping the headset so that it thinks it's still awake. I've also put a bit of tape on the light sensor in the middle of, on the inside of the headset, so that it doesn't detect light and turn itself off. But this is a mode I'm getting used to. It's actually pretty cool to be able to use my full 6-off controllers while I'm looking at it on screen. What else? I've done fixes for symmetry. I've done fixes for, let me go back to here, so I can do like sort of a soft geo resim like that. I can do a full voxel-based resim under here. So basically most of these tools are sort of working, which is pretty cool. So that's now a voxel resim. Most of the keyboard shortcuts work. That's showing the wireframe. If I zoom in, it's a bit of weird draw overlap, but it's working. So that's kind of where it's at. What else is working? Painting is working. Tap the headset again. I got to fix up this little thing where if I zoom to, if I see that my controls get sort of far away on screen, so I've got to use the mouse to pull myself back in. I will fix that soon. Yeah, it's getting very close to a sort of a version 1, I think. Have a play. If you have any questions, give me a shout.